Hi everybody, welcome to Pace Studio on the Road from Bristol Rhythm and Roots Reunion. We're here in the performance space at the Birthplace of Country Music Museum, home of the legendary 1927 Bristol recording sessions with Hannah Dasher. Hannah, thank you for joining us. Thank you, audience, for being here. This is awesome. Hannah, you were the biggest draw so far, so we have an infinitely larger audience for this one than we have had in the past, and it's nice to have some energy coming and going. We will share 3 of your songs from across the catalog right now, and we're looking forward to sharing your music. What do you want to do first?
Ooh, well, I'll start with the one that that should be out about the time this video airs, so brand new. For years I was told, you're too country for country, or you're too rock and roll for country, and Outlaw Radio said, well, you're too commercial for outlaw, and the highway said, well, you're too outlaw for the highway, so I wrote this thing. And it's called Wanted. I don't want to be an outlaw, long gone country music lost cause, but when the truth needs saying and the rules need breaking and the radio keeps playing all the bullshit, I don't want to be an outlaw. But if the boot fits, you can put my face on a poster. Some will sing along, some will say I'm wrong, but they'll all know what my song is. I got 6 strings in my holster. Just give me the spotlight on a busy night, and they'll all see why I'm wanted. Yeah. I don't want to be forgotten. This old world's so easy to get lost in, but you can find me and my guitar singing like a rock star anywhere from Bristol to Austin. You can put my face on a poster. Some will sing along, some will say I'm wrong, but they'll all know what my song is. I got 6 strings in my holster. Give me a spotlight on a busy night, and they'll all see why I'm wanted. Yeah, I'm wanted. I'm wanted. I don't want to be an outlaw, a long gone country music lost cause, but when the truth needs saying and the rules need breaking, I don't want to be an outlaw. But if the boot fits, my first time playing that one live. Woo!
Well, thank you for doing it for us. It sounded fantastic.
Well, yeah.
Is that that line Bristol to Austin? That's in the? Do you change that for today?
Yeah, well, yeah. I think it's NYC.
Okay.
Because they need a country radio station up there. Not that I get any love.
Well, thank you for adapting it for here for Bristol and for sharing it with us. And Bristol to Austin to New York City. I mean, being an independent artist presents itself with there's challenges. Not having a massive team behind you. There's upsides because you're your own boss. You're doing what you want to do. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience as an independent artist?
Well, coming up through Nashville, I've had a publishing deal since I guess my first year being there, and I'm still at Sony writing songs, but they kind of program you to be a machine to put out commercial music, and it's like wearing a scarlet letter when you have a major record deal and then lose that deal, like I lost mine during COVID. And it's tough, it's humbling, but I've learned to embrace mine like a like a Letterman jacket. Honestly, I'm proud of my independence. You know, my A&R staff at my label, like the girl in charge of me didn't know who Tammy Wynette was, you know, and I think it's a dating game like anything else. And it was hard to fire an artist out of the cannon during COVID, you know, but my TikTok blew up, and so I've been able to, you know, I started crashing the tours of the artists that I wanted to play shows with, and fans started showing up, and I sold merch and I made money. And a fan donated an F-350 flatbed truck, and we called it the You're Gonna Love Me Tailgate Tour. And then somehow that's birthed into the Don't Want to Be an Outlaw Tour. This is my first headlining tour with my band, so we're selling out some rooms across the U.S. and without major radio play. I've had a little bit on XM, but I'm so tickled to get to do this independently and to do it my way. I just missed the bankroll of the label. I think that's the hardest part.
Yeah, and the predictability of it too.
Yes, it takes a lot of money to do this for a living, and if you don't, you know, I scrub toilets to pay my band when I toured with the Cadillac 3. They're a rock and roll band that I would encourage you guys to listen to. But you know, I've tried to, you know, make ends meet the best that I can. And a lot of money would help to get ahead, but I don't know that I would appreciate it as much as the grind.
Yeah, well, I think I'm glad that you're out there doing it. I know it's a massive challenge and it's a lot of work, but I'm glad that we're helping to amplify your message and the reality that there's not one way to make it in music and make this your career and your job. It doesn't necessitate a major label deal. You can do it and you can make money. It just takes creativity and applying yourself in order to do it. When there's no guidebook and there's no roadmap to any of this. You know, a label will provide a bit of a roadmap, but in the absence of that roadmap, go out and do it. Figure it out. Sell stuff out of your trunk. You know, it 100%.
Works. Yeah, you're exactly right, Brad. I haven't chased a second record deal. I could have, but I wanted the freedom to create the music that, you know, I knew that the pedal steel was something that I wanted in my music. And when I test my songs out live, and if my audience is singing that chorus back to me the second time, you know, by the second chorus of the song, then I know I've got something. And so that's the music that I choose to release. And of course, it's challenging when you don't have a six-figure budget to record. Records are very expensive. And when you don't have I think the hardest part is trying to get on the major playlist. Otherwise, you're just a diamond hiding in a rough. And so, but I think the cool way to go, honestly, is independent. You know, I don't think the cool kids listen to all that slick, over-polished pop stuff. When you come see me live, every voice you hear, every instrument you hear being played is being played in real time. There's no pre-recording, there's no loops, there's no fake shit. It's you know, it's just genuine raw music, and that's what I believe, and I want my audience to have that.
Yeah, and I've on this side of the lenses, on this side of the screen, what we're doing in terms of booking artists, I think reflects and echoes what you just said about when an audience responds to the music, then that's the one that you're going to put out. And we book artists. I think the most important thing is, what have we seen live? How did the audience respond? How many people were there? Who was singing the lyrics? You know, because when we do look at metrics, what things you're doing on Spotify and all that, we look at it, but it's not as important as how a human audience responds. And we try to very much practice that in the artists that we book. So thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. Yeah, well, don't look at my Spotify. I don't have much of a streaming strategy. We had about 500,000 listeners.
Well, I told you we ignore that shit anyway. So I looked at it.
Right. Well, I mean, my social media keeps me very occupied, and thanks to my TikTok, my cooking account, it's a country music infused cooking account called Stand By Your Pan, but it's been very unifying. So when you come to a Hannah Dasher show, you're going to see hippies, rednecks, gays, blacks, everybody. And that's the beauty of music and the power of fried chicken or chocolate cake. You know what I mean? I think we can all agree on things like that and escape the crap for 3 minutes in a song or for an hour and a half of a show. That's what I'm trying to lead the world, I guess you could say.
Well, thank you for bringing that message here. We're very happy to use this platform to help you amplify that message. It's an important one.
Well, I appreciate
agree
Pace
fully.
Magazine.
And there's a lot more music coming up in this session. What do you feel like playing second today?
Woo! Well, I don't want to think I'm trashy, but one of the songs I was told I couldn't release is my most requested. I'll send this out to Cha-Cha in the audience right there. I was seeing this boy from Alabama, And maybe that was where I messed up the first time. I do love boys from Alabama. They're precious. Anyhow, but I wanted You Ain't Woman Enough. I wanted to kind of pay homage to Loretta Lynn, but also stick my finger in the face of the woman that the man I love left me for. And I wouldn't touch this woman if I had a hazmat suit on. She's trashy and nasty. But anyway, the video's going viral on YouTube, and I've got my my little internet boyfriend, the Cornbread Cowboy, in it. But y'all check it out. But it goes, let me think. There we go. It goes, I'm gonna whoop your redneck ass, take you out like a piece of white trash. Mama raised me with a little more class, but I'm gonna whoop your redneck ass. Yeah. Don't worry about how I got your number. I got my ways one way or another. You've been messing with my man. Okay, sweetheart, here's a plan. I know where you park your house. You just keep on running that mouth. I'm gonna whoop your redneck ass, take you out like a piece of white trash. Mama raised me with a little more class, but I'm gonna whoop your redneck ass. Not violent. Go find yourself some self-control. He wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. Take my advice, back it on up. There's a name for girls like you, you slut. You've been around like a Goodyear tire. Tell me to my face if you think I'm a liar. I'm gonna whoop your redneck ass, take you out like a piece of white trash. Mama raised me with a little more class, but I'm gonna whoop your redneck ass. I'm gonna whoop your redneck ass. I'm gonna whoop your redneck. This girl was so nasty. She could have got us some of these sponsorship, Lord, yeah. She was hoochier than all those freshman girls at the University of Tennessee. Go Dogs. If you see her out there, her name is Courtney. And you better whoop her redneck ass. You can say this in the Bible. I had my cape on the wrong little place, but well, thank you. Thank you.
Has Courtney heard that? She must have, right?
Oh, probably. I don't know. She cheated on him. But you know, and so they divorced. Isn't that? Goes around, goes around, goes around.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that song with us. It's we've all of a sudden we know a lot more about you, and it feels like we've just got right to it, right to the heart of the matter. Thank you for sharing. And
what you see is what you get, Brad.
Yeah, I can tell. So I know that you are a music historian. You love music history. I love music history. The more and more we record, especially the more we record here, the more we're realizing how similar the Bristol 1927 recording sessions are to what we're trying to do here today. We came down from New York City. We had a studio in New York, which closed because of COVID, and now we do these location recordings exactly like what happened in 1927 when Ralph Peer came down here to record Carter Family and to record Jimmy Rogers. And I want to talk to you about some of your historical interests and who have you really dived down the rabbit hole with?
Well, a lot of people don't know. You can look at me and you think I rolled out of, Urban Cowboy 1980, but I'm just as much of a rock and roll fan as I am a country music fan. And I think I mentioned earlier that Bristol, here's like the birthplace of this Celtic, acoustic, almost I would say an Irish European influence that became bluegrass, that was country music, when it merged with the chain gangs in Mississippi and the field calling songs they used to do, rock and roll was born when blues met country music, and I don't know, it just I think it's not by any mistake that Nashville is smack dab in the middle of Bristol and Mississippi, or Memphis, and so it's been so influential. I mean, country music was my first love, next to fried chicken, I would say, but country music first. Well, Jesus too, but Alan Jackson really caught my attention as a little girl. It was the first concert that I went to find out that he was from Georgia like me, that he wrote his songs. I hated to read as a kid, but I would read my liner notes in my cassette tapes and CDs. I'm aging myself. But Alan Jackson, Vince Gill, my parents listened to a lot of Motown and some older rock and roll. When I got into boys, I got into their music, and they were listening to ZZ Top and AC/DC and Leonard Skinner. And Skinner is probably my favorite band of all time. And I encourage anyone to look at their story, and you'll gain a big appreciation for the talent, for how young those guys were when they were writing those incredible guitar parts and the incredible lyrics. And anyway, I love the honesty of the lyric and how much they rehearsed and how tight that band was. And anyway, it's if my band could sound like any band, the goal is Skinner with a pedal steel. I don't want to sound just like them, but
Yeah, and I love everybody who you're talking about. We got to do one of these with Billy Gibbons, which was crazy, because in that same week we recorded Bill Frisell, amazing jazz session. We recorded Waka Flocka Flame, the rapper, and I don't know what Waka Flocka Flame's influences are and what he listens to. I don't know what he listens to, but I do know that Billy Gibbons certainly listened to the Carter Family. We talked about it. I know he had a lot of Latin music influences, but every one of those things ties into this space in some way, because it is just like so far up the trunk of that tree of the music that we listen to now.
Well said. Yes, Billy was very influenced by country music, and in ZZ Top's fashion, you look at some of their early photos, their nudie suits, and I sat down with a guy named Shabuzi a couple months ago.
Why do we know Shabuzi?
Yeah. And he does a lot of production. He's also in a film like I am. We share that interest. But country music, his dad really turned him on too. Like, he was listening to like Colin Ray and Kenny Rogers, I think, was a really big influence. And so it's really cool to see how, I think we're all like melting pots of what we love. And it's fun to me to when I listen back to a record, or to identify my influences or the influences of my heroes. Like, you can listen to Clint Black and tell he's a huge Merle Haggard fan, and I can pick up on some Alan Jackson things or some Tom Petty-isms, if you will. I just think we are melting pots of what we love, and it takes a lot of ingredients sometimes.
Yeah. Yep. Well, thank you for coming here and adding your ingredients to our experience of Bristol, and for making this part of your what I just said.
No, what I said.
No, you did great. What I just said was weird. You're doing great.
You're awesome. You're kicking ass, Brad.
And there's still one more song coming up in this session. Hannah, what do you want to do last today?
Oh, I think by request of my awesome drummer, I'm gonna do a song called "Ugly Houses." Anyhow, but I love to make people laugh and those kind of things, but I have a career writing songs and for other people that are on the radio and things like that. But this song gets requested. I never thought that a song like this would get requested at my live show, because we tend to kind of set our hair on fire and keep it all upbeat, Anyway, but this one gets requested a lot, and so I'm going to end with it. And I hope that it leaves you in a better place. But thank y'all for having me here on Paste, and come see us live on the Don't Want to Be an Outlaw tour, and come to the tracking of the live album. Alrighty. I'm a fixer-upper, need a lot of repairs. Kinda run down and outdated, stuff strewn everywhere. If you looked in my windows, you'd probably wanna leave, think who would want to live in me? Well, I ain't no fancy castle, got too much junk inside. But if you buy ugly houses, Lord, I'm taking down my for sale sign. I fight with the devil and the promises he makes, and I tend to keep on doing things I really need to change, like singing Redneck Ass Line. If you see potential, handing you the keys, Lord, come and live in me. Well, I ain't no fancy castle, got too much junk inside. But if you buy ugly houses, Lord, I'm taking down my for sale sign. Said if you buy ugly houses, Lord, I'm taking down my for sale sign. These jeans are so tight it's hard to hit high notes, Lord. Thank you.
All right, Hannah, thank you so much for joining us. We
Thank you,
appreciate it very
Brian.
much.
Thank
Have a
you.
great rest of your Bristol. We will have a great rest of our Bristol, and can't wait to share this with the internet and everybody else. Thank you. We'll
Thank
see
you
you
so
next
much.
time.
I look forward to running into y'all down the road.
All right.
Thank you.